7's always on your side.
Tonight, two breaking stories: the major storm slamming the east and the storm inside the White House. Steve Bannon turning on the president's family, calling Donald Trump Jr.'s infamous meeting with the Russian lawyer inside Trump Tower, quote, treasonous, claiming there's zero chance Don Jr. didn't take them to the president's office. Tonight, President Trump firing back. Also tonight, the states of emergency at this hour, the massive storm called a bomb cyclone. Possible hurricane-force winds slamming into the east. The track now shifting. Snow totals will now be even higher. Florida to Virginia, D.C., Philly, New York, and Boston all getting hit. President Trump taunting Kim Jong-un over the size of their nuclear buttons. Is this helping? The fire reported late today from Hillary Clinton's home. The Delta flight turned around twice because of a mysterious noise, and the other flight, the frustrated passenger escaping through the emergency exit. And your money tonight: if you received a gift card for Christmas for a store you don't shop at, how to get money for something else.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Wednesday night. That major storm slamming into the east, the track now shifting, more snow, and we will show you in just a moment here. But first, the hurricane that blew through the West Wing today. Steve Bannon turning on this White House, turning on the president's family. President Trump's one-time chief strategist and close friend now calling that meeting at Trump Tower with Don Jr., Jared Kushner, and that Russian lawyer, quote, treasonous. Tonight, the president is now firing back. ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega leading us off.
Former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon tonight out with bombshell accusations about that now infamous Trump Tower meeting. Donald Trump Jr., Jared Kushner, campaign chairman Paul Manafort, and a Russian lawyer whom they were told had dirt on Hillary Clinton. In an explosive new book, Bannon calls the sit-down treasonous, unpatriotic, and he says Team Trump, quote, should have called the FBI immediately. Don Jr. has downplayed the meeting.
In retrospect, I probably would have done things a little differently. For me, this was opposition research.
His father has defended him.
I think from a practical standpoint, most people would have taken that meeting. It's called opposition research, or even research into your opponent.
The president insists he was not aware of the meeting during the campaign. But Bannon says there's no way that's true, saying the chance that Donald Trump Jr. didn't walk the attendees right up to his father's office after the meeting ended was, quote, zero. And he warns they're going to crack Don Jr. like an egg on national TV. Just months ago, the president lavished praise on his former chief strategist.
I have a very good relationship, as you know, with Steve Bannon. Steve's been a friend of mine for a long time. I like Steve a lot.
Tonight, an unprecedented public rebuke. The president saying in a statement, quote, Steve Bannon has nothing to do with me or my presidency. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. The president accuses Bannon of leaking to reporters and exaggerating his role, adding, Steve is learning that winning isn't as easy as I make it look.
I think furious, disgusted would probably certainly fit when you make such outrageous claims and completely false claims against the president, his administration, and his family.
The bombshell book, Fire and Fury, is due out next week. ABC News obtained an advanced copy. Veteran journalist Michael Wolff obtaining extraordinary access to the West Wing. He reports that many on Team Trump, including the candidate himself, thought they would lose, and that campaign manager Kellyanne Conway was actively interviewing for a TV job. Wolff says First Lady Melania Trump did not want her husband to win and was in tears when he did. He also writes that daughter Ivanka discussed with her husband the possibility of running for president herself one day. The White House dismissing it all as trashy tabloid fiction.
So let's bring in Cecilia Vega tonight. And Cecilia, we also listened as the White House was pressed today on how this writer got so much access to the West Wing. It's hard for reporters like you to know these visits occur because the Trump White House doesn't release visitor logs. So how was he granted so much access, and did he in fact speak with the president?
Well, David, because we don't have these White House logs, we only have the White House's word to go on. They today told us that this author was at the White House more than a dozen times. 95% of that, they say, was at the request of Steve Bannon. They also concede that this author did have one very brief conversation with President Trump after he was elected. David, the author says that he spoke to more than 200 people, many of them the president's closest aides.
All right, a lot of time spent in the West Wing. Cecilia, thank you. We turn now to that storm slamming into the East Coast. As I mentioned, that track now shifting, which means more snow and hurricane force winds are possible. Some calling this a winter bomb cyclone. Right now, the storm barreling up the coast, snow and freezing rain in Florida and Georgia, in the mid-Atlantic overnight, and here in the Northeast by morning. Tomorrow's commute will be treacherous. Dangerous conditions already on I-95, a multi-vehicle pileup near Walterboro, South Carolina. At this hour, several states of emergency already. Blizzard warnings in effect. ABC's Steve Osunsami from Georgia now.
The storm they're nicknaming the bomb is shutting down highways, airports, and even cities tonight, turning lives literally upside down from Florida to Maine.
We're asking you, if you don't have to be out here, please don't be out here right now.
Already 17 people have died in the bitter cold, and now this. Roads are so slick in the Carolinas, they're pulling drivers like this one out of ditches. On I-95 tonight, crews are responding to this multi-car pileup.
Everyone is completely freaking out. As you can see, the town's shut down.
In South Georgia, where snowplows are as rare as snowflakes, police report that more than 220 people have been hurt in accidents near Savannah alone. This was our slippery trip there.
It's just ice. We are on top of ice.
This is the most snow this region has seen in nearly 30 years. ABC's Victor Oquendo is in Florida.
Florida Highway Patrol shutting down long stretches of Interstate 10 in both directions because of this. Take a look. The bridges frozen over.
Stacy Pelosi and her husband Vince are trying to fly home to New York, but all flights are canceled, and now the storm is heading to where they need to be.
So thank goodness I overpacked.
In Massachusetts, they're bracing for a nor'easter.
We've bought lots of water. We do have heat in the house, which is great.
Many schools are already closed tomorrow.
Racing up and down the coast tonight. Steve Osunsami with us live from Savannah. We see that frozen fountain there behind you, Steve, and this ice is already causing power outages tonight.
That's right, David. 50,000 people here in Georgia and Florida are in the dark tonight, and that number is expected to rise as the storm continues to move north. But there's another issue on this end of the storm. All of this ice is expected to melt and then refreeze, which means days of icy roads.
All right,
David,
be careful in the days ahead. Steve, our thanks to you. Let's get right to Ginger Z. The track's shifting. You were telling us more snow now and possible hurricane force winds.
And this storm is rapidly intensifying as we speak, David. It's happening now. And it's a storm that already brought Savannah, Georgia, for example, more snow than they've seen since 1989. It is snowing now from Florence to Fayetteville and will overnight attack the mid-Atlantic coast. That's where you see the blizzard warnings popping up, and that's where those wind gusts start to get above 35 miles per hour, visibility less than a quarter mile. You do not want to be on the roads. You're not going to be able to fly out of a lot of the airports by the mid-morning, and it moves up into the afternoon into New England. Coastal New England is where we see 70-plus mile-per-hour winds. There are some of the snow swaths of what to expect. More than 6 inches in a lot of spots with that wind. And the cold behind it, David, is even colder than we've seen already. There are wind chill advisories as far south as Boca Raton, Florida.
So it gets worse before it gets better, unfortunately. Ginger, thank you. We turn next to North Korea tonight and President Trump's tweet to Kim Jong-un, the president, saying his nuclear button is, quote, much bigger and more powerful than the North Korean leaders. Is this helping with so much at stake? Here's ABC's chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran, tonight.
It was Kim Jong-un who started it, hurling this taunt during his New Year's address. The U.S. should know that the button for nuclear weapons is on my table, he said. The president's response, a tweet. And even for Donald Trump, this one was a doozy. I, too, have a nuclear button, but it is a much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button works.
Little rocket man.
Trump has spent months heaping scorn on Kim, but his latest tweet, so schoolyard, so personal, drew sharp and shocked reactions.
This is dangerous to continue this kind of almost child's play.
At the White House, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders was asked about President Trump's mental fitness after that tweet.
I think the president and the people of this country should be concerned about the mental fitness of the leader of North Korea.
Kim Jong-un has steadily escalated his nuclear threat. Last year, 3 intercontinental ballistic missile tests showing he's capable of striking the U.S. Then in September, a 6th nuclear test, a possible hydrogen bomb. And now this nuclear standoff seems utterly personal.
The president has overturned 200 years of diplomatic tradition and made this a one-on-one, mano-a-mano fight with Kim.
The real danger here, analysts say, is miscalculation. A nuclear hair trigger, two leaders taunting each other, no open channel of communication. It could be, they say, a recipe for accidental war. David?
Tara Moran, our thanks to you. And breaking late today in the Russia investigation, President Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, under indictment for money laundering and other charges, now filing a suit against Robert Mueller and others. So let's get right to ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas tonight. Pierre?
David, the Manafort team wants the indictments against him thrown out and is claiming Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein exceeded his power when he let the Russia investigation expand into Manafort's businesses. Manafort's lawyers are slamming the probe, saying it goes way too far, allowing special counsel Bob Mueller carte blanche to investigate anything he stumbles across. Mueller lawsuit claims has been unmoored, investigating overseas business dealings that go back a decade before Trump ran for president. But tonight, a Justice Department spokesman is dismissing Manafort's claims, saying the lawsuit is frivolous. David?
Pierre Thomas, live in Washington. Thank you, Pierre. The Senate tonight has two new Democrats this evening, narrowing the Republican majority now to just one seat. Alabama's Doug Jones sworn in today, escorted by former Vice President Joe Biden. And Minnesota's former Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith, now sworn in to replace Al Franken, who resigned over claims of sexual harassment. We turn next here to the case making national headlines, a call to 911 from several states away. Police then showing up at a home in Kansas. It turned out the 911 call was fake, swatting as it's called, but an officer did open fire and an innocent man was killed. Here's ABC senior national correspondent Matt Gutman with new developments.
Tonight, the California man accused of that prank 911 call leading to the death of a stranger 1,500 miles away is preparing to face charges in Kansas.
So are you the Tyler Ray Barris wanted by the state of Kansas for a criminal offense?
That alleged criminal offense, it's known as a swatting call.
This is 911. What's going on?
I shot him in the head and he's not breathing anymore. I already poured gasoline all over the house. I might just set it on fire.
Do you have any weapons on you?
Yeah, I do.
Police raced to the address the caller gave them, completely unaware of that 911 call. 28-year-old Andrew Finch opened his front door. Police say that when he lowered his hands, one officer, fearing he had a weapon, opened fire, killing Finch. A police investigation showed that Finch, who was unarmed, had nothing to do with that 911 call and had no apparent connection to Barris. Tonight, Finch's mother is demanding not only that Barris be held responsible, but also the police officers involved. David Barris is suspected in at least 20 previous swatting incidents, including a bomb threat phoned into our Los Angeles station here, for which he actually served time. Now, once he's extradited to Kansas, he could face second-degree murder charges. David.
Matt Gutman tonight. Thank you, Matt. Next, an alarming turn in the case of an American woman and her family. They were rescued from captivity, as we reported here, from Afghanistan, held by the Taliban. They're now living in Canada. And tonight here, the new reporting, the husband, Joshua Boyle, is now under arrest, charged with sexual assault and other criminal offenses that allegedly took place after they were back. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis tonight.
Joshua Boyle, the Canadian man held hostage by the Taliban for 5 years, behind bars tonight in Ottawa. The 34-year-old is charged with 15 criminal offenses, including physical and sexual assault of a woman, physical assault of a child, and unlawful confinement. ABC News is not identifying Boyle's alleged victims. The alleged assaults took place after Boyle returned to Canada in October with his American wife and children after 5 years of captivity in Pakistan. Caitlin Coleman was 6 months pregnant when the couple was kidnapped during what their families called a hiking trip in Afghanistan. While in captivity, she gave birth to 3 children. She says they witnessed their mother being beaten and raped by guards.
And afterwards, the animals wouldn't even give me back they wouldn't even give back clothes.
Upon their return to freedom, Boyle talked about what he hoped to rebuild.
It will be of incredible importance to my family that we are able to build a secure sanctuary for our 3 surviving children to call a home.
His wife, Caitlin, has now released a statement saying ultimately it is the strain and trauma he was forced to endure for so many years and the effects that had on his mental state that is most culpable for this. His wife, Caitlin, went on to say that she and the children are, quote, healthy and holding up as well as we can. And in a statement to ABC News, Joshua Boyle's lawyer said he's never been in trouble before. We will look forward to receiving the evidence and defending him against these charges. David.
Lindsay Davis tonight. Thank you. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Wednesday. The new health headline tonight: how to